Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
There's two questions, two things. What's going on right now anyway? You gotta reconnect. So, whoever's on Facebook, we don't. We're taking the questions, but we're gonna have to figure out how to get the questions from you guys there. Okay. So, question online.
Let me know when you're ready, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair. You ready?
I didn't get the name of the.
All right, no problem. But yeah, I was thinking about peppermint. I know. Play. Bismillah.
Question online. I didn't get the name of the thing. They were asking, what is the name of the book? What is the name of the author? What is the name of the author?
Sorry. Please, Bismillah. Could the questioner please tell us if they were online from the beginning of the class or they came late? Because we did say the name of the book and we showed you the copy or the cover of the book. If you were here from the beginning, then it is a hadith disciple rule not to mention previously mentioned information with the recorder. If we were just talking and no devices were on the table, no problem. But the moment that it's on film, or we say it's on wax, you're already in a comfort zone. You shouldn't have the ability to do what? To get the information back. And if not, then go back to the recording. So if a person wasn't present, that's one thing. But if you were here, then the rule is what? We can't. I'll tell you again. So please, the questioner, please inform us which of the two is the case, Well, this is well known. There's nothing new. We're not fronting for nobody. This is what? Yusuf? Disciple rules. Old. Before hadith disciple age. The age of the disciple.
Hadith study.
Before that. No doubt. Next question.
From online, Brother Idris, Sheikh Idris from Canada. Says, Sheikh, may Allah bless you. We're missing that smile down here in the north. You're the real MVP. Sheikh, what's the middle path on dealing with Ahlul Bidah?
Tayyib.
We see some of the people go to one extreme where they treat them like kuffar. And how does one deal with them, especially in the West, where the Muslims are unfortunately in for a lack of better words, lower status compared to others? May Allah forgive us.
Tayyib. We miss you too, Akhi Idris. May Allah bless you. Make you the MVP, the real MVP, not me. I'm just coming off the bench, taking off my jacket, taking a couple fouls, getting a couple rebounds, a couple hard-earned points in the fourth quarter. That's it. For the true stars to rest, drink their Powerade, and that's it. That's nothing more, and Allah knows. We're just helping out, Bidnillahi ta'ala. As far as the question, the middle course with regards to Ahlul Bidah, some people go extreme, so on and so forth, we're in the West, etc. Very important question. Very commonly, frequently asked question. Very dangerous question. And this needs an entire series of lectures in itself, literally, without any exaggeration. Okay? Whereas we have everything. All right? It's like a fruit salad. Whatever you want is there. Strawberry, pineapple, bananas. Bananas is optional. Some people don't put bananas in fruit salads. Banana is very strong taste. Okay? It overwhelms the other fruits. However, it's reality. It's fiqh. It's science. It's making a fruit salad, yahi. Cantaloupes, honeydew, watermelon, grapes. Everything you want when it comes to this topic. Ahlul Bidah. The first piece of fruit is anyone who goes against me is Ahlul Bidah. You oppose my ijtihad, that, and I command you to take it back. And then take my view on this issue, what? Mubtadi'. And anyone who supports you is also Mubtadi'. And yatasalsal. It doesn't stop. Fulan's Mubtadi'. He went there, he visited the masjid, he sat on the podium, he had this, he's on the flyer, he shook his hand. So when you have 50 Mubtadi'ah, starting from one person that was declared a Mubtadi' by a scholar, regardless whether it was the truth or not. Just look how sick and perverted that is. Fulan's a Mubtadi' that Sheikh Fulan never even met because he's connected by 10 other people. This is sick, and this is a reality. So that's one piece of fruit in the fruit salad. Anyone who goes against me is Ahlul Bidah, period. Everybody understand this? And then we have those who say, Ahlul Bidah, worse than the kuffar. Whether that's right or wrong, but they say this. They're worse than the kuffar. I see a kafir, preacher, pastor, someone who's getting paid to lie on Allah and his messengers. Hello, sir, how you doing? Someone from Ahlul Bidah walks by. Just walk by, angry face, ice grill. Jew, how you doing, sir? Sikh, they'll speak to them. They'll hold the door for a Sikh. They'll be polite and courteous to a mushrik, filthy kafir, idol worshiper, stone worshiper, cross worshiper. They see someone from Ahlul Bidah, turn the other cheek. They'll cross the other street, the other road. Shaitan's on one side of the street, what? You go the other way. This is reality. This is a bitter reality, unfortunately. And then we have those who say that someone is a mubtadi', someone's an innovator, someone's Ahlul Bidah, and you ask them to recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and it'll be a joke. It'll be literally a laughing stock if you got them to recite the opening chapter of the Quran. They couldn't recite it properly. Yet still, Fulan's Ahlul Bidah. Okay? Then we have those who say, there's no bid'ah. There's no such thing as bid'ah in the deen. We're all Muslims. Bid'ah hasana. Good innovation. There was one, I'll tell you a story. It was an island some years ago I was going to travel to. So I Googled, I researched the place of the island, and I called a masjid, a center, and I asked the imam. He spoke Arabic. He was of Arabian ancestry, even though this island was far from the Middle East. So I asked him a question. This was years ago. I said, are you guys, Ahlus Sunnah or whatever? He said, Kullana Ahlus Sunnah. So everybody's Ahlus Sunnah. What do you mean? Everybody's Ahlus Sunnah, yani? I said, Jazakallah khair. I got off the phone with him. Everybody understand this? The point is that there's no such thing as bid'ah. And there's no such people as Ahlul Bidah. Everybody understand this? Bid'ah doesn't exist. Everything is good. We're all Muslims. La ilaha Muhammad Rasulullah. Kumbaya. Past, and that's it. We sit around the fire and we roast our marshmallows and frankfurters. That's it. There's no such thing as wrong, right? Do what you want to do as long as it makes you feel good. As long as you get you closer to Allah. As long as it's okay. As long as someone came before you, then it's what? Bismillah. That's another piece of fruit in this exotic mix that we have. Everybody understand this? Then we have those who say that if you don't give yourself a specific term or title, then you're automatically Ahlul Bidah. Once again, another story. Mufti has all these stories. There was a brother who at one point in time was a student of knowledge. As far as today, I wouldn't consider him a student of knowledge, unfortunately. I had a talk with him. We had a debate with him. And he said, it's a true story. He said, any Muslim, layman Muslim, 9 to 5, he says, if he doesn't call himself Salafi, then he's from Ahlul Bidah. Not if he doesn't follow the way to Salaf, practice. He says, if he doesn't say with the words, Ana Salafi, he's Ahlul Bidah. You have some people who consider themselves students of knowledge, but they aren't. If you don't know Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, or this one or that one, you're what? Ahlul Bidah. Even if you never made any innovations, you're Ahlul Bidah. And then we have another piece of fruit, those who say that if you make a mistake, if you make an error, خطأ علمي غلط, then it's what? قد أصبحت من أهل البدع. You're from what? أهل البدع. It's incorrect to go here. It's incorrect to do this. But does that mean that it's a what? A bid'ah. Let alone calling someone أهل البدع. Let alone calling someone mubtadi'. It gets even stranger and weirder. Those who say, and this is from a scholar or supposed scholar, I wouldn't consider him a scholar, who said that there is a mubtadi', an innovator, and then there's a sahib bid'ah, a person of bid'ah. The same rulings, they apply, but he's not a mubtadi'. There's no salam, there's hajar, you don't benefit from him, you don't take from him, but he isn't a mubtadi'. What is he then? In other words, why is this such a bad statement? Because it opens up the door for me to treat you like a mubtadi' without having the manhood to say it openly and publicly. Everybody understand this? You got it? It opens up the door for me to treat you like one, but when the things hit the fan, why you treat Abu Jamil so bad? Why you don't say, no one said he's a mubtadi'. I never said he was a mubtadi'. Everybody understand this? Because they're cowards. They're scared. They're afraid. This came from a scholar. Someone who's supposedly a scholar, a doctor. He said this statement. He said what? He's not a mubtadi'. He's not Sunni, but he's fi manzila bayna manzilatayn, like the Mu'tazila. What is this? Ma hadha al-kalam. So we have so many people who talk about bid'ah and mubtadi'ah. Some people, they say that any masjid that is not with us is ahlul bid'ah. In a whole entire city, or New York City, 5 boroughs, there's only 2 Salafi masjids. Every other masjid that is not with Fulan in this one is masajid al-ahlul bid'ah. If you have to go and stop and pray, make wudu, use the bathroom, don't even make 2 extra rakats, leave and go get on the road. Don't go to the khutbah, don't listen to anything because they're what? Ahlul bid'ah. What did they do of innovation? What innovations are they practicing? They're not recognized by us, so therefore they're automatically Ahlul bid'ah. Now, that's different than the first thing I mentioned. I didn't say that they opposed us. That's different. You may say you're repeating yourself. It's a big difference. We have a debate. You take a different view. I label you what? Well, that's different. I don't even know you. Who's Abu Jamil? Due to the fact that he's unknown to me, he doesn't visit me and bring me fruit. Tafaddal, here's some tea, ya sheikh. He doesn't offer me things, then he's automatically Ahlul bid'ah. Whether you call him mubtadi', sahib bid'ah, whatever word or exotic term you want to use, he's automatically what? Ahlul bid'ah. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. We have this mixture, this party mix of people that talk about bid'ah, mubtadi'ah, without the proper knowledge, without the proper guidelines, without the necessary education, with the desires, let alone those who practice extremism and those on the other side of extremism who are just totally lax. There's no such thing as bid'ah. Everybody understand this? And they have a few individuals, men and women, that Allah Azza wa Jalla has truly blessed. He's truly opened up their eyes and their hearts to understand, first and foremost, what is bid'ah? Number 1, what is bid'ah? Number 2, what are the rulings that pertain to bid'ah? Not a mubtadi', bid'ah itself. Number 3, those who understand the differences between masail ijtihadiyya and clear-cut innovation. There's a huge difference between the two. Everybody understand this? Let alone those who deal with who is a mubtadi'. And what is the difference between ahlul bid'ah and a mubtadi'? Who is a caller, a da'iyah, a ras, a head, and he was a tail and a tag along. Everybody understand this? Those who make a difference between the permissibility or the impermissibility of taking from sahib bid'ah, between a student of knowledge, a layman, a 9-to-5, let alone someone who's an expert. Everybody understand this? And the list goes on. Those who are free from the labeling game, we call it a play. Masrahiyya, yani, it's a play. Theater. One day a person is Sunni, he's a Jabal, he's a mountain, he's the most knowledgeable person in the West. And the next day he's what? Ahlul bid'ah. Burn all of his books, get rid of all of his tapes, don't speak to him. You see him down the street, spit on him, kick him. He's a dog. He's la, wallahi, dajjal, kadhab. Just yesterday, our brother, our sheikh has visited us in America. Our sheikh. Just yesterday, they were sicking people on him. Sheikh, what do you think about Fulan? And what do you think about Fulan? He was in Canada just yesterday. This brother and this dad and this one. Mubtadi', da, da, da. Then he went against another scholar. He said something. He did something wrong. And then he's what? Kick to the curb. Ahlul Bid'ah. This has happened, I don't know how many times over the last 10, 15, 20 years. Don't take it from me. Read it yourself. Go and you'll find it. It's a game, a joke. So most people, unfortunately, either one or two sides of extremism. And you have those who are in the middle. And they know that dealing with Ahlul Bid'ah is no different than dealing with a Muslim, a Kafir, a Jew, a Yahudi, a Mushrik. It's based off of Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah, Qala Sahaba. There are principles, there are foundations, there are things in which the people agreed upon, and there are things in which there is clear-cut ikhtilaf. And there's ijtihad on sa'il, ta'weel on sa'il. A view that can be taken tomato, and a person may also say tomato. And neither of the two are wrong. And there are some words that's mispronunciation of the word. Everybody understand this? And this knowledge, when you can sit with Ahlul Bid'ah, when you can't sit with Ahlul Bid'ah, when a person becomes a Mubtadi', what is a Bid'ah? What? It's only based off of the ayah, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. Anything that you differ over, take it back to Allah and His Messenger. So what is the definition of Bid'ah? The definition of Bid'ah has to be based off of Qala Allah, Qala Rasul. When does a person become a Mubtadi'? It has to be based off of Qala Allah, Qala Rasul. And the list goes on. Everybody understand this? Let alone hiding information. Those who say that if a person makes a mistake, he's not a Mubtadi', he just made a mistake though, he made an error. Or 2 errors or 3 errors, don't take anything from him. You can't listen to him, you can't learn from him. And they quote Imam Ahmed. Tayyib, okay, no problem. So what are you going to say? Well, Imam Ahmed would learn and take from people that were known Mubtadi'ah, innovators, Qadari, Murji, Fulanun fihi tashayyur. What do you do with the narrators in Sahih Bukhari, in Sahih Muslim, in which they clearly say Rumiya bil bid'ah, Rumiya bil qadr, Rumiya bil irja. Now, I'm not going to mention no names. I don't want to scare nobody. Some of your favorite authors, when you read Tafsir ibn Kathir, read their biographies and see the things that they were said about them, whether it was right or whether it was wrong. So if that position is taken, then anyone who makes an error, who says something that's wrong, ijtihad or whatever case, he's automatically trash. Okay, no problem. So what do you want to do about the imams that clearly said, لو تركت حديث أهل البصرة للقدر وحديث أهل الكوفة للتشيع لخربت الكتب. It says the people of Basra in Iraq, if I didn't take their narrations because of the bid'ah of Qadr, and I didn't take the narrations of people of Kufa because of their Shi'ism, he says the books will be naked. There will be no what? No reporters left. And narration after narration after narration after narration after narration after narration. What do you do with those narrations? Is there contradiction? There's no contradiction. But there is a balance. There's a fine line. There's a thin line. And the balance has to be based off of principles. Anyone who makes a mistake is not a mubtadi'. Someone who doesn't visit you and kiss you and hug you and worship you is not a what? Mubtadi'. Everybody understand this? Someone who has more knowledge than you and you're jealous and you're envious, you can't just label him mubtadi'. If a Muslim doesn't say that he's Salafi, he doesn't use the word Salafi, you can't call him a mubtadi'. And the list goes on of ignorance, of extremism, and of people just, I don't know what to say, wallahi. It doesn't work like that. Bid'ah is well known. It's clear. A person of bid'ah is well known. He's clear. There's no one scholar who holds the keys to the city of Tabdir. He's the one who monopolizes who is and who isn't a person of bid'ah. That doesn't exist. And if you do say that, then the whole entire da'wah to Salafiyya is down the drain. Because the way of the Salaf is supposed to be based off of getting rid of that and doing away with that worshiping of one man. Everybody understand this? It's a bid'ah to be Hanafi, but it's not a bid'ah to follow this person and take all of your affairs back to this one scholar. And if you don't, you're from Ahlul Bid'ah. What's the difference? Imam Hanifa lived over 1,000 years ago. Don't take from him. You can't attribute yourself to him, but you attribute yourself to the scholar. Does that make sense? It's total stupidity. And this is what we live in today, unfortunately. And the same applies to the other group of extremists and the zealots. How can you say that there's no bid'ah in Islam? How can you say there is bid'ah hasana? You know what bid'ah hasana means? Bid'ah hasana means that Muhammad was ignorant. Waliyadu billah. Bid'ah hasana means that Muhammad stuttered. He didn't speak properly. His words weren't clear enough. Bid'ah hasana means that Muhammad he hid information that the Muslims need. that will get them closer to Allah, and he hid it from them. That is the fruit of bid'ah hasana, a good innovation. There's a way that gets us to Allah, that will take us to Allah, that Muhammad forgot to talk about. That Muhammad didn't know how to talk about. That Muhammad didn't want to talk about. Which of the three are you going to pick, John? Which one do you want on your scale, Yawm al-Qiyamah? Everybody understand this? There's an act of worship that is good, that will take us to Allah, that Muhammad what? He just didn't tell us about. That's what it means, that you're making ibadah in the deen that Muhammad never legislated. So you have a way that's better than Muhammad's way, mashallah. So how can a Muslim even say that? There's no such thing as bid'ah. All bid'ah is good. How can you turn on the television, get on YouTube, and say that the Muslims are all united on one thing and everyone agrees on one thing? How can you say that? That doesn't even make sense. Everybody understand this? So those people there are clearly wrong and they're clearly astray as well. The middle course is based off of Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah, Qala Sahaba, and the principles and the values that are well known by the ulama and laid down. Some of those principles are what? Agreed upon, as we said. And there are others in which are clearly ijtihad. If you differ with next one, me and Saleh can't agree. He has his view, I has my view. He's a student of knowledge. He studied overseas just as long as I did, if not longer. Rather, he did study overseas longer than me, by 3-4 times. So I'll at least respect Saleh. I don't agree with him. But I'm going to do what, Saleh? At least respect him. Because it isn't a clear-cut issue of ijma' that we're fighting over. Everybody understand this? So these are the things that is important. Ahlul Bid'ah, someone who is an innovator, who went against the Quran, who went against the Sunnah, who went against the way of the Sahaba, clearly, staunchly. He's obstinate. He doesn't want the truth, and he's a caller, and he's evil. He calls the people to it. He invites the people to it. No doubt, he's treated in a certain manner. He's what? He's treated in a certain manner. The fanatical people who follow him and surround themselves around that person, they're also to be what? Treated in a certain manner. But the 9 to 5 layman Muslim that doesn't have a clue, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, I just want to go to Jannah. How can we treat this follower like that leader? That doesn't even make sense. Let alone the Muslims don't have no madhab. Muslims don't have no specific way. They're just juhal Muslims. They migrated from other countries. They accepted Islam in America, in Canada. They just want to go to Jannah. And anyone who comes to them and speaks to them and teaches them with the proper akhlaq, they'll follow him and they'll take from him. But yet still they're called what? Ahlul Bid'ah. That doesn't even make sense. That's wrong. Let alone the concept of making a difference between someone who makes a mistake and someone who's a mubtadi'. You can't take from him because he made a mistake. Okay, so therefore, let's stop the tape. Fulan has mistakes, don't take from him. I'm not saying Mufti's a deviant, you should learn from him. I'm not going to visit him in his masjid, but you know, he has mistakes. Okay, no problem. So do you have mistakes? Yes or no? Are you not a human being? Are you not Bani Adam? What did Yahya bin Ma'in and others say from the ulama of hadith? Man qala la ukhti fahuwa kadhib. He says, anyone who says I don't make a mistake is a liar. What did the Salaf as-Salih used to say? إِذَا أَرَدْتَ خَطْأَ مُعَلِّمِكَ فَجَالِسْ غَيْرَهُ. It says, when you want to know the mistakes of your teacher, then what? Sit with somebody else. And then you'll see the flaws of your what? Of your teacher. So how can you say that Fulan has mistakes? That automatically means that we don't have mistakes. So you're not from the sons of Adam. All right. The next line is, no, we're not saying that we don't have mistakes. We're not saying that Sheikh Fulan doesn't have mistakes, but no one has discovered them yet. They haven't been felt yet. Tayyip, no problem. Pause the tape one more time. No one has discovered them, or the one who did refute them and did clarify his errors was slandered. He's disrespecting the scholars, or they say, you're attacking the Salafis. You're attacking the Salafis. You're attacking the brothers. You're attacking the Salafis. You're speaking about the Salafis. How can I discover the mistakes that haven't been discovered unless I do what? And when I do look for them, I'm what? Attacking. But when you look for my mistakes or this person's mistakes, that's criticism. That's the science of Jarh Ta'deel. But when I listen to your errors and point out what Allah said, what Rasul said, that's what? Attacking. So where's the justice? Is that fair? Is that just, honestly? That's not just. So the person who says that Fulan has mistakes, no problem. He may have mistakes. And I'm sure you have mistakes as well. Either you hid your mistakes, you put a lot of perfume to cover up your stench. You stink too. But you put on a lot of cologne, a lot of deodorant, but deep down inside you stink. And anyone who gets close enough to smell you, you push them away, you throw them away. Don't get close to me. You're trying to smell my stench. You're a human being too. You perspire as well. Just like the next man does what? Perspires. Everybody understand this? So that doesn't even make sense. That's what type of mantiq is this, yani? I can criticize you all day. The moment you criticize me, you're attacking the Salafis. You don't have no respect. Sheikh Fulan can refute 50 scholars. One scholar refutes him, he's evil. Wallahi, he has something in his chest against the Sheikh. He hates the Sheikh. Wallahi, that's what they say on a daily basis. And they say, we follow the Salaf Salih. That's pathetic. So therefore, someone who makes a mistake is one issue. Someone who does clear-cut bid'ah is what? It's another issue. Someone who's a caller is one thing. Someone who's an ignorant follower is what? Is another thing. A mubtadi' who has some knowledge that no one else has. And someone who knows the right from the wrong, but he doesn't know this science. Sitting with this mubtadi' or this dal or this mukhalif, that's not the same as telling the awam to sit with him. There's difference. Someone who writes a good book. Person's a mubtadi', but the book is thorough. It's the best book. It's the only book on the subject. You have to burn it and get rid of it. That doesn't make sense. So the problems behind this mess that we have, number one is ignorance. Number two is lack of balance. Number three is personal desires of jealousy, of envy, of greed, of lust, of transgression. Everybody understand this? I would sum up my whole entire speech with one of the pious predecessors said, Rahimallahu rajulan arafa qadra nafsi. May Allah have mercy upon a man who knows his place. May Allah have mercy upon the individual who knows where to stop. This isn't for you. This is for you. You talk about this. You don't talk about that. So that's the bottom line. Anyone who's proven to be mubtadi' and hates the sunnah and cause against the sunnah, that's one thing. Warning against that individual. Boycotting that individual after the necessary advice. After the necessary clarification. That does not mean, and this is the whole entire, we call this, Rabtul Faras. The Arabs say this is the muzzle on the horse. This is the thing which holds the whole thing together. Is turning a Sunni student of knowledge or scholar who does not agree with a specific scholar over an issue of ijtihad. Now we must treat him like a mubtadi'. What's the proof that we don't sit with him? What's the delay we don't give him salams? Why don't you listen to his tapes and burn up his books and disrespect him and talk about him? Because of the Salaf's position against Ahlul Bid'ah. But this cut from the get-go was never from what? Ahlul Bid'ah. And that's what the Khawarij did to the Muslims. They applied what Allah said about the kuffar, hellfire, burning in the fire, eternal dwelling fire, and they applied those verses to who? The Muslims. And when it says, how can you say that he's a kafir? Allah clearly says, Khalidan fiha. He'll dwell therein forever. The Sahaba, they said, that verse is talking about kafir. Fulan didn't speak to this one. He didn't give salams to that one. Those that the Quran was created. Those who went against the truth. And they were obstinate. Inad. Not as talib al-ilm, a scholar who's well known and respected. Akhta fi masala ijtihadiyya. He made a mistake in the issue of ijtihad, let alone if you two guys are fighting on an issue and in reality, Sharif was right and Abu Jamil was wrong. But because I like Abu Jamil, I automatically say Abu Jamil was wrong. He was right. But when I actually read the two books and listen to the arguments, Sharif won. So just because he claims that he made a mistake does not prove in writing stone that he actually what? Made a mistake. Everybody understand this? If you don't get this, you're not going to get the whole entire thing. It's a game. It's not mubtadi'. He's not from Ahlul Bid'ah. It's a person who used to be your best friend. He was your close companion. It's someone who used to teach you, who used to give you lessons and fawaid. He chose a path in life. You chose a path in life. You felt that you couldn't be loved and accepted to a people unless you offered him as a sacrifice to those people. Waliyadu billah. That's all it is. So let's stop the games. Fulan's classes, where does he talk about bid'ah at? Where? I listen to every talk Sharif. I didn't hear him say anything about bid'ah. Every time Sharif talks, call Allah, call Rasul, call al-Bukhari, call Muslim, call Abu Dawood. That's all his class is about. Where is the bid'ah? Where is he mubtadi'? Oh, he doesn't visit the brothers. He doesn't visit Sheikh Fulan. He doesn't mention the scholars. So that's bid'ah? For argument's sake that that's wrong. Is that what? So, yani, Gotta use your brain. Wallahu alam.
Sheikh, what would separate those people from the Khawarij?
Next question. Who said it's separated? The Khawarij had integrity. It was well known. The Khawarij didn't lie. The Khawarij didn't beat up women, drink alcohol, and make zina. Khawarij didn't sell drugs. The Khawarij weren't people. They had piety. As the people said when they walked by the camps of the Khawarij, it was like the buzzing of bees because of the hum of Quran and dhikr. Khawarij had sajda marks, knees like camels. Khawarij were people who had integrity, not jealous, envious, childish, immature people who talk about people all day. Everybody understand this? Khawarij had courage. They fought. They did things. These people have done nothing but destroy and wreck and tear down. We're not getting to no personal issues. Their study habits. Khawarij had actual what? They had some type of piety, righteousness with them. Huh? These people have no integrity. When they lie and they're caught in a lie, the first thing they do, they cover it up instantly. When they act un-Islamically, the first thing they do is what? Cover it up instantly. No, he didn't do that. He didn't say that. That's not true. He was angry. It's the first thing they do. They have no integrity. They have no integrity. You don't get into the concept of women. They have no integrity. Huh? Money, dunya, hasad. They'll lie on a scholar. They'll translate half of what they want for a scholar. They will outwardly disrespect a scholar that does not agree with them. They have no integrity. Last but not least, there was a scholar from Kuwait whose benefit was well known. His knowledge was well known. Where he came from was well known. But he, as we say, he didn't kiss the ring. He wasn't down with being a yes man to a specific scholar or to a specific group. So he went to the UK and he knew the different environment of the UK, the environments. He knew the atmosphere, this group, this jama'ah, this website, markaz, flan. Everybody's against you. Otherwise, Ahlul Bidah. Everyone is mubtadi'. We're the only people upon khair in the whole United Kingdom. Every other masjid and center is in the fire except for us. He knew this. So he went there and he wanted to talk to a specific group whose name I won't mention. I could mention if I wanted to, but I'm not. So he wanted to go visit them. And these brothers, they knew that this scholar was not on their agenda. They knew this scholar was not someone that was willing to make sujood to somebody else. They knew this, but it wasn't clear yet to everybody. They didn't have no hardcore dalil to really, throw them under the bus, as we say. So the sheikh, he said, Assalamu alaikum, he called them. كيف حالك شيخ حياك الله شيخنا مرحبا أهلا وسهلا يا شيخ حياك. He says, إني راغب في زيارتكم. Inshallah, أنا جاي. I want to come visit you in your masjid. I want to give a talk. I want to come visit you. I'm here in the UK. You didn't pay for my plane ticket. I pay for everything. I want to come visit you. لا يا شيخ والله نأتيكم لا. We'll go to you, Sheikh. We'll see you. We'll visit you. We'll go to you. You don't know the UK. We'll come. He says, I know how to get there. Don't worry. I have a driver. I'm coming to the masjid and give a talk tonight. La wallah ya Sheikh. We'll come to you. Don't go through the hardship. So he says, it's not a hardship. I want to come visit. He said, Allah Sheikh, it's kind of unclear, so on and so forth. In other words, they never had integrity from what? From the beginning. They didn't want the sheikh to come to them. They wanted to visit the sheikh, benefit from the sheikh, ask the sheikh questions in the hotel, and not have the sheikh's face in their center on their camera at their table. So is this a person who does this has integrity? Everybody understand? Then they factored with the game they was playing. And the sheikh, he says, once it became clear that they refused for me to come, he says, Tayyib, salaam alaikum. Can't help you. Everybody understand the story or not? We'll visit you, yeah, sheikh. We'll bring you fruit and tea and food and lamb and rice. Only in the hotel, away from the public eye. Because you're not clear. And we don't want you on our podium. But you come to us, just ponder this. You're in the lands of the kuffar. You have a scholar from another country who's willing to visit you and give you a free lecture. And they told him what? Don't burden yourself, yeah, sheikh. We'll come to you. It's far. He said, I'm not that far. I know how to get there. La ya sheikh, it's ahsan for us to come to you. You think the Khawarij would have done that? The Khawarij would have said, Anta kafir. They said, you're not a Muslim. Don't come to us. They would have been upfront and open with their belief about that individual. Everybody understand this? Khawarij were not people like that. Waliyadu billah. And that's not a praise of the Khawarij either. For some jahil, hasid, envious, ignorant person, he's praising the Khawarij. Yamdah al-Khawarij. He's praising, he's lauding the dogs. So that's not a praise of them. Huh? Wallahu alam. That will conclude our session tonight. I take a Mufti Q&A, huh?